Okay, so let's see that in Eclipse, here I have already made one class. So that class is basically say race with join, which implements runnable. Winner is not needed here, so I will remove it. So this class will override run method. So in run method, what I'm doing, I'm just identifying the current thread and printing its priority and state. So let's not work with priority. Let's only say it starts or ends. Okay, fine. So here I'm printing the state, sorry, name, and then starts. Okay, then I'm identifying the T1 thread. Okay, I have created one thread called T1. So if the name is T1, I'm just putting one if block for that. So it means that I am identifying the T1 thread. Once I capture T1 thread, then what I'm doing, I'm doing saying that T2 dot start. So T1 and T2 I have put into test thread join class as a static variable. Okay, so I will say thread test thread join, that is class, then variable dot start. Then I'll say T2 dot join. It means that I'm I'm starting T1, but what I'm doing, I'm saying that T2 start and T2 dot join. So here what will happen, current thread, that is T1, that should pause till T2 executes. Once T2 completes its execution, then T1 will resume. T1 will resume. So after doing this, after if block, I'm saying that that current thread ends. Okay. So to test it, what I'm doing, this class, that is a main class, public class, here I'm creating one object, race with join, and name of that object is say race. Okay, and I'm creating two static variable for thread T1 and thread 2 3 2. So I'm saying that static thread T1 is equal to new thread. I'm passing that instance of the runnable class and giving the name of that thread is T1. Same for T2 as well. In the main method, what I'm doing, I'm saying that T1 dot start. When T1 will dot start, it will go to run method. And as I shown you in the logic of run method, what it will do, it will identify that T1. So it will identify that if current thread is T1, then it will start T2 and it will say T2 dot join. It means that T1 should pause its execution and give chance to for T2 and wait till T2 completes its execution. Once T2 completes the execution, then T1 will resume. So here in the while loop, what I'm doing, I'm running this while loop till T1 dot get state or T2 dot get state is terminated. If anyone's state is terminated, then I will break this while loop. So what I'm in this loop, I'm just saying that current millisecond, current time stamp, and what is the state of T1 and what is the state of T2. I'm just continuously printing just to see that what is going on right now. So once I print this, once I run this, it will run this while loop till anyone gets terminated, any thread T1 or T2, and till that time it will just print the states. It will keep on printing the state. So as I said, the high level of state, new, runnable, running, terminated, those kind of states are high level. So it will start printing the states. So let's try to run this program and see what happens. Okay. So let's understand the output. See what happens here. T1 starts because that's what we are starting. So T1 starts, then T1 state is runnable. It it is from running to it became uh, so it is runnable, but T1 start and say that is new. So T1 state is still runnable, T2 state is still new, T1 state is still runnable, T2 state is still runnable, T1 state is waiting. Okay, T2 state is runnable, then T2 starts. So here T1 is still waiting. Okay, and T2 starts and T2 ends. Right, T1 is still waiting. Now T2 is runnable, it is somewhere, it is in between, it is runnable, and T1 is still waiting, and then T1 ends. So the line which you need to look at here starts and which ends. T1 starts here and T1 ends here. In between, T2 starts and T2 ends, because T1 we have said join, so it will wait for that T2 is complete. So T1 is still waiting, and once T2 completes, then only T1 completes. So this is the effect of thread dot join. So thread join is not a static method. It should be called on the instance of the thread. So here it is being called on T2, right? Not simply saying that thread dot join. There is no static. This is not a static method. Okay, why it is not a static method? Because it is not on the current thread. If any method is on the current thread, those methods are static methods. Okay, now let's try to see that what will happen if I use wait and notify. So let's say wait and notify. Wait and notify, as I said, if you mark, this is required to communicate two threads. So if suppose you want to run two threads one by one, one after one, based on the some sequence, then wait and notify is required. So once one thread is doing something, it will ask, it will once a thread doing is something, once a thread is doing something, then it will ask other thread to wait, and once it completes the execution, it will notify other thread to execute. Okay, so we will see how wait and notify work. We will take one example. Suppose you want to print, suppose there are two threads, one thread is printing odd number and one thread is printing even number. Okay, then I want to make something like that. First thread will print first odd number, second thread will print first even number, then first thread will print second odd number, and second thread will print second even number. So something like that, we will see how it works in the actual Java program. Okay,